Hello everybody, Dave here, and what's the date today? 2nd of February, I think it is. Now, I haven't done anything on any of my projects for about 3.5 weeks. I did say that I was going to be taking a bit of a break, and I have. I mean, okay, the videos have been coming out pretty much every day, but that just goes to show how far behind the videos are. So yes, I've been taking a break for a while, partly because I needed it, partly because I've been struggling a bit with motivation. I've not been sleeping well at all. But this section of videos, this project, my dining table, is something that I've been preparing to crack on with since the new year. So basically, as soon as I finished the small bookcase, I sort of had a clean up in here and pretty much got everything sort of ready, set up, so that when I felt the time was right for me, I could just start. And so that's tonight. Okay, a couple of things I need to mention is that I actually started this table last year. I think probably February, March time last year. It was before COVID hit, or at least it was before we were into lockdowns. And what I'm going to do is, when I started it then, it was sunny, it was outside when I stripped the top of the table. I did a short video to show what a poor condition the top of the table was in, and I'm going to show you that video in a moment. And there's also a selection of pictures of the table sort of going through the process. At that time I wasn't videoing stuff like I have done for the last year, so yeah, you'll have to excuse the quality, but it will show you the dining table and a bit of the stripping that we did on it, so I'll play that for you now. Okay, so as you've seen there, the top of the table has been stripped and sanded, but to be honest, I do need to do more on it. Also, the underside of the table, there are some repairs that I need to do to it. I'm not going to show those now of what needs doing. I'll show that when I get to the point. What I'm actually going to work on today is the table legs. Now, these table legs are fucking heavy. I mean, this is a proper solid chunky pieces of wood. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking, if we look at the pattern on the end here, you can see that there's actually a core section of pieces of wood and then an outer arrangement of pieces of wood. So it's not like these are, it's not like it's a veneer, or if it is, it's a fucking well hidden veneer. Now, all of these legs are in a very shabby condition, to be honest. They all need sanding, they all need cleaning up properly. They just basically need refreshing, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not planning on trying to sand down every single mark and scratch out of them, because some of the marks are quite deep, and I'm not wanting to do shitloads of sanding. But for example, where there's a bit of damage on the corner there, that's a good point actually. Right, okay, yeah. So we can tell that this isn't veneer because of the way the damage is. That is split wood, not chipboard falling apart. So where there's that little bit of damage, I will fix that. I won't fix it, but I will tidy it up. Now, I could just go with basically trying to sand all the shit off these. However, that was never really the intention. The intention was to strip it. And given that we worked out on the small bookcase, that this stuff is fucking brilliant, then I was much more confident to actually make a start on these. I'll say much more confident. I've been much more confident, but I've just really not been in the mood. Which is nothing to do with the project. It's just me. I've been a bit. I don't know if I'd say I've been a bit down. I've just been not lazy or lackadaisical, maybe lethargic. I've been very lethargic. I'm always tired. I'm not sleeping. And also, when it comes to stripping this, I need the window open, which means that I've needed to have decent weather. And considering that in the last week, 2 weeks, we've had torrential snow, so rain, we've had 6 inches of snow, we've then had shitloads of rain, we're due for shitloads more rain this week, and snow over the weekend. So having the right weather to do this has not been easy. Right, what I'm going to do is, I'll just have to mention it all, I am, I'd say a bit less than half a can of that. So basically what I'm going to do today, because at some point today I need to nip out to the shop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get as much done on this as I can, and if I run out of that stuff, I know I'm going to need to go and get more. So I'm going to do as much as I can. To then, okay, I'm just going to get myself set up a little bit here. So we'll do the little pause. Okay, so I've donned my mask and trying to get my rubber safety gloves on. I really think I need to get a bigger pair. Oh shit, and with this stuff, we know what we've got to do is apply it. Hopefully it'll start blistering. We'll leave it, apply another coat after about 10 minutes, and then give it about 40 minutes and then scrape all the shit off. So let's kick on. I am going to apply it by brush, and once again, it doesn't want to be painted out or brushed out, it just wants to be sort of dabbed. Now I am kind of going to work on, well I was going to work on one leg at a time, but I don't know if that'll just take way too long, because like we've got here, I can't really turn it over. I suppose I could do the side, it's dripping down the side anyway, but I could just focus on doing the top of, or one side of each, but then I'm not going to have a lot of space on the table. Let's see. Yeah, I'm only going to get 2 in the camera shot as well. Now I haven't bothered putting any cloths down on the table at this point, because to be honest, if this stripper gets onto the table, that's not a problem. Now I'm hoping, I really am hoping that this stuff is going to work as well on these legs as it did on the bookshelf. I mean, it should do, there's no reason why it shouldn't. I mean, looking at it as well, it doesn't look like it's, oh yeah, it's coming up lovely. See, now I mentioned that I did the tabletop last year. I mean, shit, this is coming off just by fucking rubbing it. When I did the tabletop, which is the same finish, holy shit, I must have had to apply the stuff, I don't know, 4 or 5 times and really fucking scrub it and sand it, and I still wasn't happy with the finish. So, whereas this stuff, I'm pretty much painting it off. That's fucking crazy. Now, you may wonder, if I've been struggling for motivation, why today's the day that I've decided to do it. Well, one is the weather, but that's not the main reason. The main reasons are I have been aware of how lethargic and unmotivated I've been and how shitty I've been feeling. And one of the things that I've been doing, I have been drinking more, which is not good. But one of the things I've been doing with drinking was I had to earn it. But I think for a while now, that had kind of gone out the window. So I haven't earned any of my drinks recently. And that's not to say I'm doing this so I can have a drink. No, I'm doing this because I know I haven't been doing it and it's been bugging me. Now, admittedly, I have been a little busy doing a few other things. For example, getting Dynamic GT League's merchandise stuff sorted out, which has been very interesting to do, but it has meant quite a bit of time sat at the computer, which has taken it out of me quite a bit. See if this is going to handle a, well, it should handle a scrape already, but well, I know it says leave it for half an hour. I mean, I could, but if it's coming off already, I mean, obviously there's not much point scraping it off if it's not coming up. But as we can see, it is coming up. Oh, got itchy nose and I can't scratch it. Okay, so we are going to need to apply some more. See how we're getting on over here. I think I need more. Yeah, okay. So it is working, it's working nicely. But yeah, I just need to give it a bit more time, just so that I'm not having to, hopefully, not having to reapply loads of coats. I don't mind putting lots of chemical on it, it's just if I go through the whole process and do it and then have to go through the whole process again, that's going to do my head in. That's what did my head in with the other stuff. Go through the whole process thinking, yeah, they'll do it, and no, they're nowhere near. Okay, so this is where, really, I need to leave that for what I would say is 40 minutes. So what I'm going to try and do is just move these two out of the way a little bit. Now these are dripping down the sides. Oh wow, it's actually dripped a whole stream of dirty fucking varnish onto the table. That's disgustingly impressive. It's like a splodge of gravy. All I'm thinking is we can start applying it to these two as well. Get there. Now, as I mentioned, with the actual tabletop, there is quite a bit of work, as I mentioned, that needs doing on it. I want to restrip the top using this stuff. I also want to outline a carving, or it is going to be a carving or an excavation, but not like a river, a bit more like a lightning bolt or a crack through the table that I'll then fill in with blue resin. That though is kind of potentially way above my artistic abilities, which is why I want to draw it out first. On the underside of the table, that needs stripping with stripper, but it also needs some damaged pieces of wood removing and binning, potentially replacing, but I don't think it really needs replacing because it looks like it's just aesthetically placed pieces of wood rather than structural, which are damaged at the moment, and if I was to leave them or try and fix them, it could result in getting stabbed by wood. So that needs sorting out, but also where the legs connect to the table, these there's big bolts that screw into these. Whoever previously owned the table, when they screwed the legs in, hadn't put the legs up to the piece of wood that they bolt through. So so basically they'd left a gap. So when the bolt came in this side into the leg, instead of it pulling the leg to the wood, it pushed the wood to the leg, and it ended up going. But obviously in that way, and that's in all four corners. So those pieces of wood that the legs actually bolt to need to be replaced. I've been aware of that since day one and been preparing for that since day one, and I have the piece of wood ready to do it, but getting the old pieces of wood out is going to be a pain in the arse, and potentially could result in further damage to the table, which if that happens I'm going to have to then do additional repairs, which isn't too much of a problem, but it does mean that I still haven't measured the sizes of the pieces of wood that I need, but what I'm hoping to do is the next time I go over to my parents' house is I want to be able to cut those pieces of wood. I don't want to do it with a jigsaw, I want to do it with a cross-cut saw, so hopefully it'll be much more accurate. And I would prefer to cut them slightly oversized, and then if need be sand a little bit off to make them fit, rather than not have them big enough. But also where the holes are going to be in them needs to be precise, otherwise the bolts won't go into the legs. But I've also been toying with the idea of strengthening the pieces of wood so that they don't break like the previous ones have. Now, one way I've been thinking about doing that is potentially to just add washers to one side, just to try and strengthen it. Another was to add a metal plate, but I don't really want to do that because then it means I need to make the pieces of wood thinner, and I don't want to do that. Even though in the end I could end up with a stronger piece, it also means cutting a piece of metal, which I don't have, and getting the holes in it. And yeah, it's a lot more work than it may actually appear to be. So yeah, not too keen on that. Okay. Well, it's coming up on the brush still, which is good. Now we're getting how these ones getting off. Might want a bit more over there. I need to refill my dish in a minute. I mean, one thing as well, one reason why I kind of have been putting this off as well is that I've kind of known that once I start this, I really need to try and make sure I finish it. And it was a case of, it's not just starting stripping these legs, it's a case of, right, your project now is your dining room table. And don't get me wrong, I did need the break from doing stuff, but yeah, probably had a break for a little too long. I definitely haven't got enough to complete this. A little more application, and then I'll swap them around again and see if I can scrape a bit more off those first two. Oh. Tricky bit. Heavy fucker. If I touch that with my hands later, it could burn me. It's a bit shocking just how heavy they are. Not shocking, surprising, but I do like it because it should mean that we've got a nice sturdy table. Oop, bit loads there. Now, obviously I mentioned that I started this table about a year ago, but having realised that I hadn't uploaded any of the videos, so it is a bit weird. I may look slightly, well, I don't know if I appear on those other videos actually. What's the other videos? I think there's only one video. To help us get bulk. I won't be surprised if this stuff could come off being rubbed by a cloth. I bet it will 100% come off being rubbed by wire wool. let that work in a little bit. I don't think this is the better of my two scrapers. I think it's got a bit of a shape to it. Oh. Yeah, this is straighter. So much easier than sanding. And getting in that groove might be a bit awkward. I think what I will do is sort of do this with a scraper and then sort of go over it again with, like once I've done all the sides, I'll go over it with a bit more chemical and some wire wool, I reckon. Let's give in here a bit of a scrape with it all. It really is, it's like a fucking gravy pour. Oh, itchy nose, fuck off. Yeah, so even in there, I reckon wire wool in there would work better. Okay, let's give next one a bit of a scrape. Going to need a little more application on this one. If it's not coming up straight away dead easy, then it's definitely needs more. Now, I won't be surprised if the memory on my phone is going to run out pretty quickly. If it does, I might have to just keep going on this. It depends on where I get up to, because taking the gloves off and everything is a bit awkward. Little pieces. Yeah, the hand's starting to go a little bit numb now, which is not good. Ow. And there's one thing I may be limited by with all this again is physically what I'm able to do. I mean, recently I haven't been able to do much at all. So, even though this would not necessarily be classed as normally taxing, for me it fucking is. Yeah, it's almost like I'm making me own Marmite. Okay, I'm thinking what I might do is sort those two out and then just focus on just two at the same time, just to make things a little bit easier for myself. Okay, let's move that one over there. Oh no, I've touched it. I'll burn. Hopefully we'll be alright. That's one thing that I'm wanting to try and avoid, and if I'm moving stuff about, there's more chance of me having a little bit of an accident there. Oh, look at that. Coming up fucking lovely. Yeah, I am so pissed I didn't use this stuff before. Ow. I mean, it says it, you can still use it on fine furniture. So that's going to need some more. And I could do with wire wool to really clean that out, which is fine. Okay, apply a bit more on here because it's going to need it. I know I was doing all four at the same time, but I'm thinking if I just focus on doing two, then it's sort of mini goals. Go back to your mini goals. Get one table leg done, or get two done. Whereas if I keep going in the process that I am, there's a good chance that I'm not going to get any of them finished in this sitting, and then that's going to bug me. Not just necessarily bug me, but perhaps make me feel like I've failed. And the idea of mini goals is for lots of achievements, lots of little achievements, positivity. Okay, I need more. Need some more. if I'm going to have to go and get some more of the stripper, I might actually have a look while I'm there at getting a bigger pair of gloves, because I think it is the gloves that are kind of making my hands go numb quicker. They're basically being squashed. I think the more numb my hands go, the harder it is to be precise or gentle. Probably could have left that one a bit longer. I mean, the thing is, I do find this though, this is satisfying, stripping this like this, because you can physically see easily the difference, and it's not taking a massive amount of work for me to actually do it, whereas the other stuff, it was a lot harder to see what it was actually doing, but also it took a lot of fucking effort to do that. So it seems to be a lot of input for very little output. Now, I'm not saying that everything should be easy, but I am saying that that wasn't fucking working. So what I'll do is, once I've scraped this a little bit, I'm going to reapply some to these two and then leave it for a while, and while I'm doing that I shall transfer the video files from my phone, and then hopefully when we come back, the rest of what is on those two should hopefully scrape off quite easily. So let's reapply. I'll probably also, no, I'll save the, should I save the wire wool? No, I'll get some wire wool out, I think. Work your magic, my friend. Work your magic. Right, get in there. Okay. Oh, all dirty now. Hands numb and the arms killing. Right. Okay. I'm going to leave that for a little while, sort my videos out, and yeah, we'll be back in a bit to get a bit more messy.